Hi. We are back for another interview for this self-care for empaths giveaway. I have so many heart-centered, awesome contributors who are giving amazing gifts. If you haven't yet picked yours up, please do so today because you're going to love it. And I'll put the URL in here for you so you can easily see it and connect, okay? And in the meantime, let me introduce you to Kristin Woods. So Kristin Wood, she is a coach that helps people looking for long-lasting weight loss without dieting pills or gimmicks. She even has a gift that she's going to share with you today that is all about stop dieting and start losing, which she'll tell you more about that shortly. And she helps her clients to curb their cravings through simple, proven ways to lose weight and keep it off, which we know that part is important as well.
Right.
And clients change ingrained eating habits that are rooted in outdated, diet focused mindsets that I'm going to add often don't work. And they make lasting, sustainable changes that impact their entire life forever.
Yes.
So, Kristin offers her sessions in one on one coaching with people, and she'll lead you through her success system as she does that. So, please welcome Kristin to the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, what is a body wellness coach?
Well, I was certified as a life coach and a health coach, and what I started noticing is they both work together.
Okay.
So for me, I just decided it's more about just body wellness is what I'm helping people with, the inner and the outer.
Mm-hmm. And what had you join this path? I mean, what led you here?
For me, I spent most of my life on a diet, and uh, the early years it was more about exercise and how much exercise could I get in a day so that I could eat whatever I wanted to eat.
Ah.
And as I aged, that didn't work as well. And it, I just didn't have enough time in the day to exercise enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it everything kind of came to a head when I had a back issue that I had to have surgery for, and it was the first time I'd ever had any kind of major surgery. And I found out that I don't do well with prescription medications.
Mm-hmm.
And I started worrying about what's going to happen when I have to take all the regular old age medicines. What is my body going to handle them? So I started doing some research on how I could improve my health, get rid of the weight, and I came across health and life coaching. And it was the promise that I would learn to like myself that really hooked me. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided whether I did it or not as a profession, I at least wanted to give myself that gift. So I put myself through the program, and because I had so much success, I decided, I want to do this as a profession. I want to help other people realize that it doesn't have to feel like you're on a diet, being deprived and punished, and you know, being hard on your joints and everything. It doesn't have to be that way.
And so, do you do that through mindset work or through like a food and mood journal? Like, can you talk to me more about that?
I really believe it's a lot about getting curious with what your body wants, because
Mhm.
what works for me is not going to work for you. Probably, some version of it might, but we're all different. So there's not a cookie cutter diet that's going to fix all of us the same way. So it's getting curious and really listening to your body, um, what it wants, how it reacts. And mindset is huge. That's my Stop Dieting, Start Losing guide is a lot of mindset that
Mhm.
you can't tell yourself you're fat every day and expect not to be fat. You, you are manifesting what you are,
Mhm.
and you have to get in the right mindset that you're talking nicer to yourself.
Yeah, so if you're trying to fit into your skinny jeans and it's not quite there, okay,
Hmm.
don't beat up on yourself and get all angry and
Yeah.
upset that, you've ate too many ice cream cones or
Mhm.
something. Instead, it's like, okay, we can do this. All right, we created this. Let's uncreate this and let's go within to figure out what's going on. So, if you're guiding someone to be curious
Mhm.
and be with their body, what if their body's saying, "I want Cheetos"? Is
Well,
that really their body or is it something else that's
well,
actually
possibly
saying that?
possibly it is their body, and that's because they made a habit of going to the Cheetos for a certain reason. And so getting curious is really figuring out, what does that bag of Cheetos actually mean to you?
Mhm.
And let's create a different way to fulfill that meaning that doesn't involve the bag of Cheetos,
Uh-huh. Like the emotional association that
Yes.
we have to certain foods. Like there's certain comfort foods that we all are drawn to. I mean, I love anything that's like sourdough bread. Like bread, it's got to be sourdough though, like sourdough bread or potatoes. Like scalloped potatoes is a comfort food for me, you
Yeah.
know? So and when I tune in, I'm like, "Oh, because it reminds me of one of the common dishes that my mom made for me,
Mhm.
when I was a kid."
Yes. And I think everybody has a craving that has something to do with the comfort of feeling loved,
Mhm.
that friend. I mean, I found that I had a habit with a hot fudge peanut butter shake that was not good, because I turned to that if I was in a bad mood and had a bad day. It was my gift to myself
Uh-huh.
for making it through the day. And if I had a good day, then it was a reward that I had a good day.
Hmm.
That meant that I had way too many of them. And I realized that I was really using that shake as it was my friend.
Mhm.
It was like my cheerleader for me when I had something good or something bad. And it's like, I need to just, give that job to my husband and save myself the calories.
Mhm.
You know.
So it's getting curious. It's doing that inner work to
Mhm.
see what you're making the food mean and what it's associated with and I've definitely noticed in my own life and in my clients that it is trying to fill a void oftentimes about wanting to feel loved, feel nurtured, feel cared for, feel safe.
Right.
Mhm. And when we can look at that rather than, the bag of Cheetos
Mhm.
and do something, right, to fill that void, something that's healthy. Wow, it can make a big, big shift.
Yeah, for all the different slices of your life. You can start being more productive in your work, having better relationships with your family.
Mhm.
It can make an impact on your finances.
Mhm.
It just ripples out into everything.
Yeah. And so when you're working with people, it's usually one-on-one, right? Over the phone
Correct.
or in
Well, over
person?
Zoom.
Over Zoom? Okay. And do you walk them through getting curious and identifying what
Yeah.
those associations are?
Yes. Yes. Typically, I mean, I have some just one-off phone calls that can be very impactful. Just in one session, you can really learn a lot about yourself. And if you can change one small habit, or get the wheels turning on changing that habit, it can just trickle into other habits that you have. You'll start to notice them more. So one call might be enough to get somebody moving, but I do have a 12-week program where we can get into why are you going for that bag of Cheetos? What does it mean? What is a better option? And there's the mindset, but then there's also other things that nobody tells us about, the importance of chewing your food.
Mm.
And it's getting close to dinner time. So anybody who's watching this, if they pay attention to how many times you chew a bite of food before you swallow, it's probably like 3 to 5,
And what do you recommend?
like 15 to 20.
I yeah, I've read some books that are like 20 to 30 chews
Yeah,
per
and
swallow.
you know,
I was like, wow, in America, most people just inhale their food. But when I'm in Italy, they spend 2 to 3 hours per meal. And of
yes,
course, there's, multiple courses, but they savor their food and they
yes,
chew their food and it's such a different mindset.
yes, and it does stretches out the length of your meal. God didn't give us a garbage disposal at the top of our stomach. So if you don't chew it, then it's really harder on your body to digest it.
Hmm.
It's not going to be digested as well, which means it's going to get stored in ways you don't want it stored. It just spirals and to what you're trying to get away from, and you deserve 20 minutes for a meal.
Hmm.
And we so often just get so caught up in the rat race of life that you gobble it up and feel like if you've taken 2 minutes for dinner, that was too long. And
I can't tell you how many people I know who eat their lunch, breakfast, dinner in front of their computer, working simultaneously. And I've been guilty of that
yeah,
as well. But would you say that that's maybe not the best habit?
no, it's not. And you may think that you're calm while you're doing that, but I think you only think that because we are so used to being in the fight or flight mode all the time
Hmm.
that we don't even recognize that our body is being stressed, is just working overdrive to keep us safe. And when you're in the fight or flight mode, you don't digest it all.
And that's a really good comment that most people don't recognize
Mm-hmm.
that they're in that fight or
Right.
flight mode or freeze.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of tension that especially Americans have, because other parts of the country, like in Europe, where there just is, in general, is a little bit less stress, more relaxed, who are taking those afternoon siestas, right? The level of tension that they have in their body compared to us here in the US is significant.
Yes.
And that tension can most definitely impact your digestive system.
Yes.
Most people wonder why they've got irritable bowel syndrome and, you know, different digestive problems, you
And
know,
it,
eating your emotions, right?
right. And it might not, depending on the scale of their problem, it might not resolve it completely. But if it helped to get away from the TV, get away from your phone, just have a relaxing meal. I mean, I think about when I was a kid and at home, we sat around the dinner table and we ate, and we didn't have a TV in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And people, you didn't hear about the people with the irritable bowel syndrome, with the leaky
Mm-hmm.
gut, with all these things that are stress related.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as common. And so what if you gave it a try and shut the TV off and put the phone in another room, got off Facebook, and just had a meal with your family? If that would help, it's worth a try to see
Mm-hmm.
if that's what your body wants.
Mm-hmm. So you can pick up really practical, easy, impactful tools and tips with Kristin's gift, Stop Dieting, Start Losing. And I put the link on the screen. And in addition to her gift, there's 20 plus other contributors that are a part of this self-care for empaths giveaway. So you can get as many gifts as you want, actually. You could get one from all of us.
I did.
And you did?
I did.
Wow, that's great.
That's what it's all about. Everybody has such a different take. And um, there was, what I found was there was some pieces that were different than what I had heard said before. So I think even if you think self-care, um, check it out, because there's always a different take, and maybe it's the one that's going to land.
Mm-hmm. Because even if you've heard the information before,
Mm-hmm.
somehow hearing it for the fifth time or hearing it from somebody else speaking it,
Yeah.
now's the time to receive it and take the action. I've I've definitely witnessed that in my own life. Like certain people may have suggested things that, kind of bounced off me a little bit, but when I all of a sudden now it went in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely pick up Kristin's gift, pick up my gift, Insight, which is discovering your 9 blocks to success, love, health, and spiritual oneness. I give you practice looking through my clairvoyant goggles. I made these pictures for you so you can kind of see what uh, what it symbolizes to me. And get everybody's gift. And so, Kristin, do you have any? Well, first, I wanted to go back to the saying that you have in your background: a good laugh and a long sleep are the 2 best cures for anything. I just wanted to comment on that it was awesome, that I really love that.
Well, I do have a Facebook group,
Okay.
and in my group, it's a private group, the Inner Superwoman group, and every Wednesday morning I go live with, I call it a kiss from Kristin. It's a keep it super simple tip, and
Nice.
that's from last Wednesday, and the tip was talking about sleep. And that's just another thing that gets overlooked. Nobody ever talks about how your sleep affects your weight,
Mm.
and it does. So that those are the practical things that we don't we don't get taught in school, and nobody is talking about them out in the world. They'd rather have you drink a coffee or have a shake or take a pill. Um,
Hmm.
Go get some sleep. You know?
Yes. R&R. R&R. Well, thank you so much for your golden nuggets that you've
You're
given
welcome.
us. There
You're
have been at least a handful if you've been taking notes. Feel free to re-listen to this and definitely pick up her gift and check out her Facebook group, and we will get you all the TLC that you need to up level your life. Much love and blessings.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye bye.